Major set to blow. Ready to go. When the wartime won't go. Propelling on and falls, but we still know. Together we'll make it wherever we go. Together we'll make it wherever we go.
Greetings, this is Steve Harry Harris and the HarrisFilm Crew. Tonight we have Roy Ivy, Chris, not Peter Griffen, Chris Gunn, Ken Mays, and Jefferson Kelly.
Hey, everyone.
Hello. There we go. Ken, fix that for me.
Fix what?
The lineup there. Oh, we're good, I guess. Okay. So tonight we're here to watch and comment about Vance Major's film, Where Do You Go? It should be active very soon, about 2 minutes. It should go live on the YouTube. And wondered if any of you guys had any comments to make before we get started.
So I heard that the guy that plays engineer Preston Cisco is a very bad actor, and so once you get to his scenes, there should have been reshoots, but you know, so that's my input on the preview. Whoever that person is should just should have ended up on the cutting room floor, but that's
no, you're too hard on yourself.
He's got the stage presence, I will say that much.
Yes.
However, I did not know we have our own theme song. That is awesome. And for everybody watching, if you hang out after the show, we're going to play Hollywood Squares right here.
There you go.
I like the sound of that.
Of course, you know Roy Ivy, he's not in the film, and Ken Mays is our VFX artist, our lead VFX artist.
Ken, you do some amazing work.
Thank you.
Is it too loud? Are we
No.
good? Okay.
That's good.
Dan Zimmerle's in the house, and Trek 984, I can't even say the name. 98597 is here. Yes, the count was off a little bit. I had to delay it a minute or two.
It looks like a new intro.
Yes,
like it.
I chose this intro for a special occasion. Thank you all for being here. Mark's in
Looking
the
forward
room.
to seeing this, the finished version of this. The initial one we watched was pretty good.
Thank you. Yeah, I cut out the Captain Roth sandwich that we had and went with the normal story. So Captain Roth's final message, then In Deep Mud, which we're filming now. After that is the Directory of Possibilities, and that's the last time we see Captain Roth. So, and that was all of these films from Directory of Possibilities forward for like 4 films were supposed to be on the same day, but it didn't make sense for Directory of Possibilities to be the same day. So we're now on July 4th.
Right, gotcha.
Shout
You
out.
guys will have to excuse me ahead of time. I'm going to jump to another live stream here.
Yes.
All right.
Bit.
Go ahead.
After this
Task
one,
Force
so
78.
All right. See you soon.
I have to be
Their
in 2 places
mission
at once.
to explore, patrol,
Greetings
and
to the
protect
other guys.
Federation interests
Yes,
along
we'll do.
Orion's belt
I'll be back in just a
and the
little bit.
Klingon neutral
All right.
zone.
Computer working. How can I be of assistance?
begin recording and insert the start date as usual.
Activated.
It was the late shift. Tonight's little crisis was a broken comms link to Commander Batia's office. I volunteered to help, partly because I miss being down in engineering. The chief engineer's been threatening to rewire the ship with a phase torch and chewing gum. It seems like every time we repair one system, something else decides to give out. First officer duties keep me hopping between the bridge, weapons readiness, and security drills. When you're bored, you always wish for a little excitement, right? Well, we weren't prepared for what happened on Selena B.
But what happened?
Federation Tax Service audit. Good job with these titles, Steve.
Yeah, the YouTube or StreamYard is doing it automatically. I'm not sure which.
Damn.
Sam will be joining us shortly after he watches the film and gives his review on the other channel. That guy needs
Griffen,
some
come in.
decaf.
Can you hear me
All right,
now?
testing 1, 2. This is inside the box. 1, 2, 3.
Can you hear me now?
Baby coffee you're drinking.
I just love this plastic.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
He got serious all of a sudden.
Well, that's one less thing third shift maintenance teams can screw up.
Why do they keep those guys around? It seems like they can never get their jobs done on time.
Starfleet bureaucracy. That's why I've learned to do so much on my own. When you're constantly innovating and fixing things by yourself, you get pretty good at it.
A self-made man. Cuts through all that red tape pretty quick.
In a few minutes.
All right.
Engineering this EXO. The engine doesn't feel right. Is everything okay down there, Mr. Cisco?
Sir, you're right. The plasma flow hasn't been the same since our little incident with the Orion Pirates a while back. I need to take the injector assembly offline and send a crew in to properly calibrate the replacement injector. Or we could have some unfortunate problems with the warp field.
Well, that's going to put us dead in space for a while, isn't it?
4 hours, by the book. 2 if we do it my way.
Your way might be why we're in this situation. You may proceed by the book, Mr. Cisco. Just keep me informed.
Aye, sir.
I'll update the chief engineer and the captain during our turnover at breakfast.
Stahl out.
Cisco out.
Bridge. This is Stahl. Listen, I've got to take the engines offline for a couple of hours. There's a problem with the injectors, so you're going to have to drop into impulse power for a while.
How long do you think it'll take?
Cisco says at least 4 hours. I'm pretty sure by the book it's going to take about 8.
Okay. Boss out.
Stahl out. Griffen, come in.
Yeah. Did you notice the comms array indicators out of alignment?
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. It'll realign itself when the deflector dish automatically resets. So just give it a minute.
All right. When that happens, hopefully that'll clear up that backlog. Man, everybody will go back to wasting our bandwidth with all that red tape we were talking about.
It's all mindless chatter anyway.
I miss the old days when it was all unicorns and rainbows.
No rainbows and unicorns today, buddy.
Starting to think this starship's just a little too uptight.
So what are you saying?
Did you see the rainbows and unicorns on the screen? Salisbury University mascot. It's rainbow and unicorn.
There goes that mindless chat.
You all right, Chief?
I don't want to talk about it.
Seems like you've been down the last couple months.
You know what? It irks me to see these up-and-coming kids getting promotions while I'm stuck here doing their jobs. You think I like that?
Yeah, probably not.
You're right. I'm frustrated. I'm constantly being passed over for promotion simply because of my current assignment. That really bothers me.
So you don't like being security chief?
I should be inventing and engineering new things. I want to improve Starfleet.
That's what I do. Last month, I even invented a new assault phaser, sent it up the chain of command. You think they were interested? No. Instead, I'm stuck here being a glorified babysitter.
You're more than a weapons designer or security chief. To me, anyway. You've been a great leader, a father figure, a mentor. All the guys in the detail look up to you.
So what are you saying?
Look, man, I'm a Mako because of you. You gave me my first real shot. You took me under your wing. You showed me everything I know. Now I'm over here working for you. The things I've always wanted to do. I'm happy.
Really? Well, that means a lot coming from you, Michael.
Yeah, you got me out of my comfort zone. Yeah, if it wasn't for you, I never would have got this far. I mean, all this cross-training is going to come in handy at some point. I've got a good feeling about it.
Yeah, well, I can see that. You're a Mako serving as a comms officer.
Well, you're a bright guy. I knew you had what it takes. You know, it's the right stuff. I wish I had a hand up the ladder when I was your age.
Absolutely. I want to be security chief someday. You know, aren't you kind of getting old for a red shirt?
Yeah.
What's that, Mr. Griffen? Are you bucking for a transfer?
No.
See how I'm old?
I'm fine where I am. Oh, I'm happy to be here. I'm just messing with you. Come on.
I'm just crafty enough to stay alive.
Michael, look, you'll be a great security chief one day. Who knows? Maybe I'll even take you along with me.
When I get a promotion to chief engineer somewhere.
Yeah, we do make a great team. We get along just like Punch and Judy.
I see what you did there.
Well, obviously, I don't want to lose my one and only fan in Starfleet.
Well, from what I hear, Linda thinks you're pretty great.
Linda really is something.
Commander, I'm getting a distress call from Selena B. C. Plaza. Seems like that's a scientific outpost. It's a lot of interference, though. I'm going to try and clear it.
Punch it up on the screen.
I'm trying, Commander. There's just a lot of interference.
Come on, man. Press the button.
This is Captain Limbo of the scientific outpost of Selena B. We are experiencing gravimetric disturbances in the space-time continuum and require immediate help. To any starships in the area, please, you've got to help us. We have dozens of scientists and families and need immediate.
Okay, Mr. Griffen, how long to C Plaza?
About 17 hours at Warp 6.
How long for USS Miranda to reach C Plaza? 4 hours at Warp 8.
Okay, I'll alert the captain and the chief engineer on my way to the bridge. Then I'll contact the Commodore and Starfleet Command.
Lucius J. Cartier is not going to be happy.
Aye, sir.
Oh, and Mr. Griffen,
Yep.
you're right. We do make a great team.
Yes, we do.
So why are you standing around? Let's go save the universe. Stahl out.
Boop, boop, boop. What did you think of that, Chris?
It took 8 hours to film.
I know, right?
I didn't realize that was so much screen time. Crazy.
See the cat? Captain, we have a kitty here. I love this shot, kid. That was a last minute addition because Ken created it and I loved it so much I put it in. This was the alternate view that we were going to use for Jefferson's character.
But he had nothing to worry about. He had this intense look. It looked like he was like, I know I'm getting yelled at, but I don't want to look like I'm getting yelled at right now.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
It was perfect. Okay, so Chris Gunn. This is not your first film. Obviously, you were in Captain Ross' Final Message. But you got an upgrade. You got a uniform. And you're wearing the uniform that should appear in Deep Mud as a lieutenant. Notice it is designed similar to the one that I'm wearing. And that is a knockoff of the green uniform, the wrap that Captain Kirk used to run around in. One version he had with the rank braid up here, another he had on the sleeve. And I love this look. So that's what we went with. What do you think about the uniform?
There you go. They're nice. It works. I like how you're blending between TOS and then the what's the picture, but there was that the undiscovered years kind of thing in the middle. Yeah, that's what it was. I think it works well.
Yeah, that's the idea. So can you tell us anything about your experience making Where Do You Go? Other than, oh my gosh.
Cats everywhere. No, it was a lot of fun. Definitely learned stuff along the way. This has been a dream of mine since, like you, when you were a teenager doing the same thing. I used to do it back in one quarter. But this is a step up from the kind of fun garage stuff I used to do. So definitely a learning experience, a lot of fun. Would definitely do it again. Upgrades, better microphone, better studio, that sort of thing, which I'm working on currently as I'm doing it. So, but it was very interesting and a lot of fun. I'm glad I did it. It was one of my goals. So we're there. I'd like to keep doing it. So
excellent. I'm looking forward to having you on the prequel. It's a sequel to Captain Ross' Final Message, but a prequel to what you just watched. So let me introduce you to Roy Ivy. He plays Admiral Bannon Boss on our films and Admiral Moore on some others. So what do you think? I was going to suggest that maybe we should put Chris in for Best Actor on this particular film when we enter it into the awards processes. What do you think?
Well, he certainly has made an impression. Him along with Jefferson. This may not be Jefferson's best work, but I disagree with him that we would need to eliminate him from any film. He's an asset in many ways. Peter Griffen here, Mr. Not Peter Griffen, is great at what he does, and I just love the whole idea of the box and the instrumentation that he actually built into it. So you ought to get an award for that too.
Yes,
he created the interior engineering stuff that he needs to do in that scene. I'm curious who came up with the idea of having the box idea and working on that. Was that all?
Well, I have to admit that I believe most of that was Chris's idea.
Yeah,
we were discussing we were discussing the com box idea, and he's like, "Why be on a comm box when you can be in a comm box. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
I just felt it was better because we actually talked a lot about it, because I guess I didn't realize it was more of a duet. I thought there was more to the show, or the episode or the movie.
Yeah.
But we just kept rapping on it. I'm like, I don't want to just sit here and look at a camera holding the clipboard.
Exactly.
I'm like, I got all this stuff laying around. I do DJing, music, whatever. I'm like, let me just put all this stuff in a box, and it all lights up and boop, boop, boop and stuff. And then I can be twisting stuff while I'm doing it. It just felt more real to me to be doing something active, because rather than just kind of standing. So it was fun. The whole that to me was the fun of it, the process of it, coming up with the ideas. A lot of that was I could see where it was inserted that we kind of improvised some dialogue. In fact, there's a couple cutscenes I totally forgot about that were funny. But it was just a lot of riffing and does this work maybe if I say it that way? And I really enjoy the process of it. That's the one thing I really got the most out of doing it. So, but thank you, Roy.
Yeah,
you're welcome. The other thing I would like to mention is it was real. You know, it was a real conversation between two people. You know, and I sort of felt like I was eavesdropping on a private conversation. You know, and you guys, you know, shared some meaningful stuff. You know, and you did it like we would do in real life. You know, you're doing something else. You're working on something else. You're talking. You're making comments on each other's lives, you know, and it's obvious that you have a relationship, you know, and that it's something that means a lot to both of you, you know. So that's something that you don't see a lot in Star Trek, you know, and I think, you know, like I said, there's a lot of reality in that scene.
Yeah. Well, that's to Steve's credit, because I've had a little bit of acting experience just from different things I've done over the years. But Steve had said, well, how would Griffen say it? You know, here's the history, here's the backstory. If you're him, what would you think and feel? So here's the line, but you say it back as Griffen. And that gave me a lot of flexibility over it. And that's why it really did take 8 hours, I think, over 2-3 days.
2 days.
A couple days, with reshoots and stuff. But a lot of that was to reframe the dialogue like that. And to me, that was the most fun of it, though. Like I said, the whole process of it. But that's to Steve's credit. He was the one that brought that up. He's like, no, just repeat it back how you would be if you were him. I'm like, okay. But I think again, that's what we're talking about, Roy. Thank you again.
No, you're welcome.
Yeah, and the thing is, we have a process around here, okay? What we do is we have meetings on, like, Sunday nights, for example, and sometimes we kick around new ideas. Then we have another meeting on another night, maybe a Friday, and actually expound on the idea, create a script, have script meetings, and eventually we have readings. You know, all right, who's going to be in the film? All right, this character, how would you do this? And we work out this dialogue first in our script meetings, and then when that's approved, send out the scripts to the people that need it. And then we get together with a director, which is usually me, or, you know, and in a case coming up soon, we're actually having David Chang direct our Mud character, Bruce Turner, over in California. He's got the setup. They are good friends, and he'll take the script and do the magic over there in California for us. So, you know, we connect via StreamYard because we're all doing this on green screens or partial sets. And most of the time we're using either a webcam or a cell phone camera to record what we're doing. And of course, they're on a tripod, the best lighting you can get with the best green screen that you can get, all flattened out and everything, and go from there. So that's just generically what we do, but it takes a long time, you know, and when we finally iron it out and get to the directing process, then it may take 4 hours at a session to actually get this 2-minute or 15-minute part that you're doing. But then the fun begins with the editing. You gotta get Ken Mays here to create a virtual environment that works. And then we need a compositor. In this case, we had both, I think it was mostly me on this one, but Peter Hollywood sometimes helps us with the paid version of DaVinci Resolve with that magic mask feature where you can just completely remove and replace any background, whether it's a green screen or not. And that's what he did with Zam's part that you saw on screen. Of course, I dirtied it up with the comms problems, but in the sequel to this, Entertaining Angels, you'll see him more clearly in most of the shots. So, any other comments? Roy, you got what you had to say there? You're good?
Yeah,
So
I'm good. I'm here. But,
okay.
Yes.
So let's welcome Zam to the program. Zamir Patwa. He plays.
Hello. Sorry for the
director
bags under my eyes.
Tucker Limbaugh. It's around 2:30 in the morning, Saturday morning in London. So
Yes, I did sleep before I came online. You know, I went to bed about 9-10 o'clock for a few hours just so I wouldn't fall asleep on your stream. But regardless, I couldn't get rid of these bags. They're
it's fine.
here,
You look fine. We appreciate
Thank
you
you very
making the
much.
time. We're sorry it's so late where you are.
No, it's fine. Time zones, I totally get it. You know, it is what it is. I just want to first of all say thank you for letting me be involved in this. This is wonderful from critic to performer. You know, it's absolutely fantastic to be here and have a part to play in all of this. And I can't wait for you guys to see more of me and what I have to offer.
Absolutely. He's
As
come
the,
to
as this character.
films. Yeah. So of course you're in this one, then you'll be in Entertaining Angels, and then the finale is We Are. And all of these happen on the same day. We're also doing a film between these that still it would work on almost any intersection. So it could be the next film that's released. And it's called Orion's Gambit. And it talks about why Tucker's actually talking to somebody who shouldn't be there. It's what happened before they have their conversation. But
just to add, first of all, somebody saying good morning to me. Good morning to you. I'll just call you Forever. I can't say the first bit too well, but thank you,
that's
Forever.
Our Harry Mudd. That's Bruce Turner.
Fair enough, Bruce. Thank you very much. And I just want to also thank Vance Major, who unfortunately is not with us, and Steve, yourself, who's helped me through all of this. You know,
We can't forget Vance, though. You know, these are Vance's stories, and he directed you in Entertaining Angels. So,
I mean,
fantastic experience there too. We have to thank Vance.
Vance got me into all of this. I was pushing him. I'll be honest with you. I was constantly telling him, I want to be in this. I want to be in this. I know I'm across the pond, but I definitely want to be in this. And finally, he came up with somebody for me to portray, somebody that I wanted to be as well, because and I'm keeping my card very close to my chest here when I say all of this, because I don't want to reveal too much too soon.
Right.
But I wanted to be somebody a bit different, so to speak, and from a
you
different
get to show
perspective.
an evolutionary process of a character from one film to the next, which is still all happening within 24 hours. So it's a fantastic process.
Yeah, and I'm not some high-ranking individual, and I'm also a science officer as well, which is a rarity to be given such a platform.
Right.
You know, if you're wearing a blue shirt, you're usually not really that renowned. And I wanted to be a blue shirt. I wanted to be a science officer. I wanted to be this low-level character in the rank, in the food chain, and all of that, and still have a massive part to play.
He ends up being the director of the science facility at Salina B. So that's who we were listening to there, Chris. Whenever the SOS came in and you caught the broadcast, this is the character that you were actually getting the reception from. We couldn't return the call because of the interference. And one thing that you may not have just paid attention to enough and to really realize it, we were talking about how long is it going to take us to get there. Our engine's offline for at least another couple of hours, so we're not going anywhere. Okay, that's why we're calling Miranda. Got it? So, and I had to edit. I kept saying our engines because that's the generic thing that you always hear in Star Trek. But we have one engine, one warp engine. Okay, so I had to keep, I had to edit that saying. Right, it was very difficult to edit that. I didn't want to go back and retape it because it would have sounded different. And I was looking for consistency. So how was the sound? Do you feel like the sound was okay?
Yeah, perfect.
I mean, it changed when you saw a different perspective. I was going for realism, and I think Jefferson had mentioned that he really liked that earlier.
So yeah, let me tell you, and that is something I learned. Now I've done a lot of audio and video editing in my time, and it's funny you mentioned that because there was a scene that I was shooting for my film Time and Again, episode 1, Aftermath. And I showed, and this is why it's important to show your cast of people you work with the rough cuts, because I showed my best friend Ben, who plays our Bartholomew Wolf in the series, and it was a scene that's slowly zooming in on his character, and he's recounting a memory, and the audio I used was actually audio from several years ago. I had him do voiceover for, it was like an audio drama on my podcast, Beyond Trek podcast. It was the fall of Beta Z, or I'm sorry, the Battle of Beta Z. And he said, "Hey Jeff, here's what you should do with that audio. Make it sound like it's distant or echoey, like it's really a memory." And I said, "You know what? Because the way I played it was just like, here's the audio." And I said, that's a great idea. And so I'm in the the Adobe Audition filters, and I'm just playing around with different filters, and I found one that's like distant. And so when you put that in, and then when you listen to it and when you watch that scene, it really changed the scene so much just by doing that one change on the audio. That really brings you in. And the way you did it with actually having it sound like you're there, and it's one of the small things that is great to see and to realize and to be able to do. And it's something that I've done with a couple of these films, episode 1 and 2 of my fan film series, where you just add something in audio. In the second episode, I had 2 characters talking to each other, but they were filmed in completely different green screen places, because one's here in Cincinnati, a coworker of mine. The other guy lives in California. And one of the inputs that I got when showing Rough Draft was they sounded like they were in different episodes, that they weren't even like in the same space. Yeah. So I said, okay, all right. So again, went to some audio presets and found like a delay. And in that delay, it's enough of a distraction in your ear to take away from, the difference in the one guy. His microphone was under his lapel, and you could tell kind of when he talked, and the other one, his mic was in front of him on the camera. Into the professional ear, you can kind of tell.
Right.
But I threw in that distraction, just that little bit of delay, so it sounded like you're in space, but it really brings you in. And with the in the box audio that you did, it's a nice piece to actually make it sound like that's where the audio is. And so just little things like that, even changing a little bit of sound, the sound tech, really makes it, because we don't have much of a budget with this stuff. We got to make things work.
What's a budget?
Yeah.
What's a budget?
Yeah. And George, thank you for the comment there. But it's, and the things that he does with his sets and his filming, we got to make do with what we've got. And a lot of our stories might even revolve around what uniforms we can fit in. You know, you got to like craft what you've got around you to be able to use, because we don't have those Hollywood budgets and, you know, production. A lot of it leans on the writing and the storytelling, because we can't use special effects or space battles or a lot of action as a crutch. One, we're not stuntmen. Two, we're old. I mean, we're probably, you know, I would say all of us are in our 40s plus.
At least.
And yeah, we can't be jumping off a step like our knees are brand new.
Absolutely.
That could be career ending right there. You know, we got to watch.
I'm not moving from this seat, mate.
We still have a day job, right? You know?
And you know, you mentioned budget. Like, this is what I've got. This is a T-shirt with this on it. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the best. That's the best I can do. You know,
but that's awesome. I mean, who would think that's? But see, that right there, that is enough in our line of work to be like, yeah, perfect. That passes. And uniforms. So you remember the uniform that I had, the gray shirt, the black tie, the black jacket, and the hat.
Yes, on Time and Again. Yes.
Yeah, on Time and Again. You know what's funny? It's I only got one set of that uniform. Me and Ben were able to wear the same size just from the weight loss I had, which was like, wow, that was, you know, unexpected. We could wear the same outfit. So we filmed his scenes, and it's like, okay, let's go into the other conference room, switch clothes, and then I filmed. But I wanted something that was, I need a uniform that looks like it could be in Star Trek, but has never been in Star Trek. It doesn't tie you to a specific time frame,
right, or era,
timeline or era, you know, or whatnot. And I went on Amazon, and I kind of had a picture, and I'm just thinking, let me find a black tie. A gray shirt is fairly agnostic, and then the jacket. It was all different brands. Mm-hmm. It wasn't even the same brand in the outfit. And then it was a hat. I want to get a hat that looks like something from Into Darkness.
Yeah.
That kind of pulls off. And so what I had to do was I had to put it together. You know, buy the different parts and then look at it.
Create your own costume.
Yes,
right.
You create your own costume.
Exactly.
And so you're right, like Zam. You know, you got a T-shirt with the Delta on it. Perfect. That's all you need.
Yeah, it's like we did with these JJ shirts. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a JJ official Star Trek shirt, but I added the rank braid from TOS era and our own insignia for the ships that we're gonna have. In fact, Chris and I are wearing the Crytek insignia, but we're not on that ship yet. You know. So there's a little bit of a story to that, also sort of a background kind of a thing. Jefferson's wearing the Crytek insignia as well, and if you paid attention to the film that you just saw, he was wearing the Crytek insignia. But
Steve, I'm glad you brought up the insignia, because for someone that's pretty self-proclaimed, got some OCD, I'm mad at you about my insignia, and here's why.
Why?
So.
You love
the two little magnets, that you welded to the back of it.
Yeah.
Opposite polarity from each other.
I know.
You know? Oh my God. So like trying to find gluing my own little things for the back of it. And like one is stuck, the other's repelling the other one, and I'm just like trying to work it.
What'd you do?
Fucking magnets. How do they work, huh? Yeah.
Well, what I ended up having to do was, for some reason tonight, I could not replicate how I was able to put it on over the TOS insignia of the uniform I wore.
It's not easy. Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, I did this before, but I couldn't, and I have different magnet backings. But trying to remember which one I used that had the right opposite polarity.
Sorry.
So I had to go with the Discovery, because it had no thing, you know.
Yeah.
Under it. But
That's
oh
okay.
my God, that's now
I'm
that I
sorry.
knew that, that just makes it even.
What are you? Is
I'm
this
gonna
a
get you
motorcycle jacket you're wearing?
No, I'm getting you back, Steve.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
okay.
something. Yeah, this is the Discovery era of the Pike Discovery era jacket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In case you haven't seen them, Jefferson is doing a new series called Time and Again on his own channel, and he's allowed us to also post the films on our channel as well. So Time and Again episode 1 has been posted here. Episode 2 is out on Jefferson's YouTube channel. What's the name of your channel over there? Is it
So what I use, it's No Budget Productions / Filk Ferret Productions.
Okay.
That's Vance Major's YouTube channel.
Right.
So I start there, and then if the episode is at least relevant enough to apply to, like, you know, there. How do
You
I
have a
word it?
place here anytime with your films, okay?
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Thank you. But it's like I wouldn't ask if it completely did not make sense at all. And it's kind of a timeline, sort of a timeline universe agnostic. So it's
between times. Yeah.
All of our universes. That's the part of the story. So I start on Vance's channel with that because my channel, Beyond Trek Podcast, it's a podcast channal. We have a small audience. Putting a fan film on there, like, you know, we get 20, 22 views. That's it. So it's like, why even bother? But so episode 2 just came out on the 19th, so just a couple days ago, and after a couple weeks, then, you know, shopping around, like, you know, NerdTube, HarrisFilm Productions, say, you know, hey, can I throw this on there? You know, but the thing is that, and that was why I wanted to have a series and a story that we could all feel like somehow or another we were a part of, and even if it's name dropping.
Yes, I noticed a name or two in the next episode.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, and it was one of those things where it's and that's where the writing of our films has to get creative, because I wanted to do something that was, how do I make this feel inclusive of all of us? And I'm not saying that anybody who does any cameos in anything, that it's a gratuitous cameo or anything like that, but it's like, okay, how can I make it part of the story that there are these different universes and these different timelines? And, you know, I came up with it. You know, the biggest thing was, how do I explain the different universes and how time travel works and all of that? And I'm just, you know, out in my riding mower one day cutting the grass and thinking, oh, wait a minute, you know what? I think I've got it.
You did. You got a great idea, and it came across not as preachy or better, you know, not that you're smarter than anybody else, just you had a grasp on the situation. And, you know, we're a small channel, okay? But you've got 262 views in 2 weeks, okay?
And I appreciate that. Thank you.
So it's not a lot, but we're a small channel. Hopefully this live broadcast will help broaden the horizon a little bit, because I made sure that everybody that subscribed knows that we were going to do this and they could participate with us. So, Ken, you've been kind of quiet. How difficult was it to catch up with us and make those virtual backgrounds on demand every time I told you to jump through a hoop?
It's not too hard, as long as I'm not mixed up with somebody else's films at the time.
Yes, we have been helping some other people, and that does take a little bit away from what we're doing.
Yeah. I did have one minor complaint, and that was you used inconsistent backgrounds for Commander Stahl.
Yes, I did, but the average audience is not going to know the difference between the two compartments, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just went with what I got. I had already edited so much of it that it was just going to be a bear to go back and try to redo composites. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point. How often do we have the ability to do reshoots?
Right. I mean, look, Chris and I have a long history, okay? And Chris did a fantastic job in this film. You know that. But guess when that was filmed, dude? That was like April 2023.
Whoa.
Okay? Yeah. April 2023. Now, he looks the same right now.
Right.
But that's just good luck. That's just fantastic good luck. Seriously. You know, we've got other actors who changed their appearance over time. And if I hadn't filmed as much of Chris that I did, and then needed him later, you know, then it might have been a problem. But since I have a lot of footage right now on some of the stuff, if I'm doing a real short film, I can use footage that we already have of him, put him in a different background, and have him do some voiceovers, and it'll work.
I didn't realize it was that long ago. It just lined up. My son was gone that weekend, actually. So
Yeah.
the house to myself, and we just knocked it out. Yeah.
Right. So hopefully we can also get your son involved if he still wants to be. Maybe be one of your commandos on In Deep Mud. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing is that's another reason that things take so long, is that everybody has their own life. You're not being paid to do this movie. And I mean, I've been
We're not. I was counting on that check.
Yeah, it bounced. Sorry. So
you guys aren't getting paid? Oh, okay.
You weren't supposed to tell him.
Right.
I did have one other comment, and
okay,
it's when Chris and Stahl were talking, you throw up that graphic of the unicorns and rainbows.
Yes.
And I thought that felt out of place to me. It's unless you establish that somehow the ship's AI is listening to your conversation and just throwing random things on the screen to match what you're talking about.
How did you know that's what I was doing? Dude.
It took me, but you didn't establish that, and it took me out of the scene, is what it
I'm
did.
sorry. Didn't mean to blow your mind, man.
In upcoming episodes, we'll have to watch commercials before we go to the bathroom, wash our hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. If nothing else, there should have been a reaction from Chris when he says the line, and then that graphic pops up, and he goes, "Whoa!" You know.
Now, he brings up a good point though, because we've got this like kind of funny theme song. We could have, we could have in hindsight gone a little Red Dwarf with that.
Yeah.
Holly come up or something somewhere. I don't know how wacky that would be, but.
So somebody was asking Jefferson for the channel, his channel. What's it called?
I'll put that here in the chat. It's No Budget Productions. So hold on just a second.
But yours is
mine is Beyond Trek Podcast.
Beyond Trek Podcast.
So I'll put that link in the channel here in just a second.
And I will try to add that to the show notes whenever this ends and actually gets archived on YouTube.
Awesome.
I think that Mr. Griffen is so fond of unicorns and rainbows that he programmed it into the council everywhere. It's just a random background that comes up in between operations. So it's
hey, it's Griffin's alma mater.
I think it's perfectly reasonable that could be the case.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Griffin's alma mater, and it's rainbows and unicorns is the symbol or the mascot, and so he mentioned rainbows and unicorns, and it was a running joke with us for a year or so. I went ahead and put the graphic in there, so it's a little what would you call that, Easter egg, sort of a.
It could be his own testing program.
It could be, yeah.
And it just came up.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Well, we're also planning to have Zamir Patwa be the voice of the AI on Mud's Planet. He's going to play a character that drives Mud's shuttle, in which he escapes. Spoiler alert. You knew Mud wasn't stuck there all the time, right? I mean, come on.
How much am I allowed to talk about that?
Well, we don't want to do too much about that right now.
No, fine. Yeah.
But I will show you that we are in the process. We're filming a movie called In Deep Mud, and we're trying different actors out for different roles. Also, the film that I told you about earlier called Orion's Gambit obviously involves Orions. So we picked out a couple of ladies who are going to play Orions.
No, lovely.
Yes. So in one case, you already know Leslie Sawyer, but this lady is from the Philippines, and she plays one of the Orions. This is just a rough cut test, with a fake background for perspective to see if we can.
I like what you guys did there by just making her green instead of painting her green.
Yeah,
it's a lot better for the actress.
And see, that's what I was thinking too. That's what I'm saying about no budget. Exactly. And you see how rough that is, but you saw how polished everything was in the last film that we just watched. So it is a long process.
Excellent.
It is a long process.
We were just saying actually on our channel earlier when we were doing the reaction that at times, especially with the intro, it almost felt like a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because at one moment we're seeing
an avatar.
Well, we're seeing your character, Steve,
yeah,
coming through the door, but then we're seeing it from your perspective, from your first person perspective. I was expecting you to get a gun out and maybe start shooting some Klingons, coming out of the corridor. But,
well, you can thank Ian Burke and Ken Mays for that. They work very well together.
Don't get me wrong. It looks superb. It reminded me of some of the cartoons I used to watch when I was younger, and I say that as a compliment. There was a show called Reboot.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you guys remember that.
Yes, I loved Reboot.
It reminded me of stuff. Yeah, it reminded me of stuff like that, and yeah, it was really good. It was really good. That's when 3D animation was really coming into the fray. Yeah, I loved it. It was great.
Excellent. Thank you.
I hope you guys don't mind, but it's getting close to 3 o'clock in the morning for me.
Absolutely, buddy.
And my eyelids are now starting to have a battle with my eyeballs. So I need to go to bed. I'm really sorry I can't stay much longer.
No, we appreciate you taking the time. I'm sorry it's so late where you are.
No, don't apologize once again.
You're a great asset, Sam. I think you really made a splash with us. So.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Roy. And like I said, I can't wait.
More really good stuff with you.
But stuff that we've already filmed with Sam in it is Entertaining Angels and We Are. Okay, those are in the can, but I'm waiting on a couple of pickup shots here and there on a couple of the films, and then Entertaining Angels I will try to finish editing very soon, and the other film is going to probably be a joint editing between us and the No Budget Productions folks.
Thank you, George, and I can't wait to progress my character. I mean, this is something I'm really looking forward to. This Takalimba, this is not the last you heard of him, fellas. All right, thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
buddy. Thanks.
See ya.
Well, we also are doing some shots. We're testing shots with Dr. Jones in the story. You may have noticed that. Okay, let me back up and say, if you watch Captain Ross's Final Message, it's a strict combox film. Okay, and what I mean is basically we're all on comboxes talking to each other. Whereas what we tried to do with the rest of the films is sort of emulate that 3-camera mode that they used on I Love Lucy way back in the 50s and kind of invented this whole perspective that you're used to on television now. And so you have a side shot, or close up, you know, a center shot, a shot from behind, over the shoulder, that kind of stuff. So that it mixes it up a little bit. It makes it more professional looking. Not that anything that anybody else is doing is wrong. It's just I wanted to go in this particular direction. It was what I learned to do, and it just makes sense to me. It keeps more people involved in the story. I think that's maybe just my perspective. But anyway, so to do that, we had to do quite a few different things to the script. And instead of making it just a common box kind of a thing, we introduced a couple of extra characters instead of it just being Chris and I talking, or you know, Chris's character, Mr. Griffen, and Stahl having a good old time repairing things. You know, other things are going on. So, you know, Vance said, "Hey, you know, I'm looking for, I'm doing some stuff with Jefferson Kelly. Why don't you invite him to be in?" And I said, "You know what? I was gonna beg you for somebody because I've got this part for an engineer, and I'm not the engineer. I'm the XO now, you know. So I need an engineer." He's like, "Do it," you know. So we're allowed by Vance Major to actually use Jefferson Kelly's Preston Cisco character in the TOS era, and in the other films, he's in another era. So hey, it's two, you know. It's a win-win. And similarly,
right.
you know, you got Roy Ivey. He's Admiral Bandit Boss, but he's also Admiral Moore on another series, and he's crossing over to Constar: The Next Generation, right? As Admiral Moore. Is that how that's worked?
That's a very unusual move, and it's quite exciting.
Yeah. Excellent stuff. No, I mean, you got any more?
I was going to say that Admiral Moore started off as in a audio series with Men at Depth.
Right,
and,
over in England. Yeah.
And you know, Jed Rhodes is the writer, creator of that, and he's just a fantastic writer. Now I really got lucky with the writers that I've run into and worked with in Star Trek fan films. You know, Vance Major, you know, excellent, can't get better than that. And you know, Jed, you know, has this audio series that works great. You know, I wish it was fan film, but a lot of things you couldn't do. You know, you have to slow down a little else. But he's got a full cast, and he also understands, you know, how I work and how to best use me. You know, so that's a lot of fun. Whatever else. And now, you know, the Bandit Boss has kind of slowed down in the far future. We don't know exactly what his fate is, but Admiral Moore is still around. You know, whatever else, and they've made the rare move. We're moving Admiral Moore over to Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, Constar: The Next Generation. Right.
Constar: The Next Generation. Yes, that's
right.
And it's another great chance to help out Vance, and it's a whole new way of trying to figure out my character, or whatever else, what separates Admiral Moore from Bandit.
Absolutely. So, Chris, do you have any new projects that we're not aware of?
At this time, no.
Okay, other than what we were talking about doing. Okay, that's cool. That, you know, I mean, you know, life gets in the way sometimes of what we really want to do, but you know, there's a position when you're ready. Let me show you, introduce you to one of the new guys, and that's Dr. Jones. He's not here on the screen with us, but we've been experimenting with trying to put Dr. Jones in a turbo lift. Okay, so you can see where his green screen is and how the turbo lift looks where he is in the green screen. But obviously that's just a test shot to show off what we could do with that particular green screen position. Okay, so it's not necessarily what we're going to use, but it's a great example of how we can experiment with the technology that we do have and go forward from there. So welcome Dr. Jones, Mark Ferguson, to HarrisFilm Productions. Of course, we also have Harry Mudd, Bruce Turner, who's going to play Harry Mudd. We spent the day, at least an hour today, with an Italian fan film group, or I should say a fan group, Star Trek group, called Atmosphere Zero. They're Star Trek Italy fan group, and we had a good time talking to them. So, I'm looking for some footage with Bruce in it. I know I showed some to them earlier. Let's see.
He's really captured the look of Harry.
Yeah,
So,
he absolutely looks like Harry Mudd.
And we got the right spirit with him. So,
But well, I could show you a little bit more of.
Hey guys, I hate to have to cut a little bit short, but I do got to run. Got an early morning with kid stuff and sports.
Okay, buddy.
Day.
We appreciate you being here.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. It's always nice to spend time with you guys, watch these films together, and it's just great seeing all of us supporting each other. I really like that, and it's I like doing these kind of things, and it keeps everyone encouraged. I think all of us to stay in it, keep doing it, because we know that we have supportive friends out there, and so that's great. Everyone keep up the good work.
Thank you. And that's the philosophy of the Federation in the first place, Jefferson. So let's keep that going.
Yep. All right, you guys take it easy. All right, I'll catch you later.
Thank you, buddy. All right. So Ken, did you have any other comments about the process making somebody go into a turbo lift?
No, it's a little bit of a challenge to get the characters positioned correctly and get the right angles on the backgrounds. I know how to do it in Blender 2.79, but I haven't figured out how to use the overlays in the later versions of Blender. So I always have to go back to 2.79 to set those scenes up. And then import them into a later version of Blender to render, because the renderers are faster in the later versions.
Right. Okay. You also might notice that our buddy here, Ken Mays, is wearing a black T-shirt with a seagull on it, and that's because in Orion's Gambit and Entertaining Angels, he plays Captain. Who are you? Straker, named after UFO character Straker.
Yeah.
And
except that he was really the donut boy who got mistaken for a captain, and he hasn't been able to figure out how to come clean.
Okay, let me introduce you to Bruce Turner. This is some test footage we did of him as Mudd recently.
We're in deep mud, baby, and the stakes are high. With Orion pirates and Klingons close by. No one gets left.
This is Task Force 78.
Racing through the sky.
Personal log of King Mudd the First. Stardate, let's just say Wednesday. King Mudd the First, rightful ruler of a realm built on logic, servos, and the relentless clatter of conformity. Well, what's this? I assume this gift from Norman isn't for ordering another round of Synthale. This blasted thing is locked up tighter than a Vulcan privacy algorithm. Hello, King Mud speaking.
What'd you think, Chris? He looks like Mud, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I was expecting more of a. I haven't watched anything with Mud in a long time, but more of a deeper. What's his name? Dr. Smith for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, we're still perfecting that.
He's a bit more whimsical than
Dr. Smith.
Harry.
Yeah.
In the original, but you know they're all different versions of the same person.
Right.
I think he
exactly.
He
Now, you know, we're not competing with anybody. Seriously. There are some other Star Trek fan films with a Mud character, and I urge you to watch those films. They are absolutely fantastic. Okay. And if you have any questions about what I'm talking to on this broadcast, when it's over, just say, what were you talking about? Who are the other, you know, what are the other films with Mud in it that you recommend us watch? And I will put the link in this for you. Okay. And a reply to your comment. All right. But Glenn Wolf and those guys know who I'm talking about. All right. Yeah. So yeah, Bruce said he's working on a deeper growl. And you know, it's been great having everybody here tonight. So if you don't have anything else, I guess we should let everybody go to sleep. Any other comments? Again?
Just that that version of Harry Mudd was better than Rainn Wilson's.
Absolutely. Don't get me started on that. Okay. Look, you know, if you love that version, that's fine. Just don't expect us to watch it. They did not keep the character consistent with what we already knew. Okay. And we're big on that. So anyway, we're trying to fit in, you know, this Task Force 78 is a type of spin-off if Star Trek had one. Okay. We're not a Star Trek fan film per se. We're inspired by Star Trek and UFO and Space 1999 specifically. If you pay attention to our films, you'll see that type of architecture and spacecraft and technology all in our community and our colony, Salisbury, New Salisbury. And that's just the way we are. And we hope that you enjoy that look and that particular consistency. So we're trying to transition from the TOS era towards what would have been phase 2. Right now, these stories are in 2267, but when we pick them up again next year, after we do In Deep Mud, which is a prequel, then we're going to go into a phase 2 setting with the USS Crytek. That's the plan. Okay. It takes time though, baby. You know, it takes time. We can film a whole bunch of stuff today, and it may not show up on the screen for 2 years, just like Chris found out. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, what? That's just the way it goes sometimes, you know.
Yeah. At least it made it out there, but it's fine with me. So.
Yeah. Well, it's like Maress Lynn and Randy Swining. Okay. We filmed them in October 2022, and we didn't have enough filmed of other characters on the bridge. So Ken and I put them in a shuttlecraft and released a skit that they did, you know, an ad lib that they did, and called it The Blue Stuff. So that's the first thing that they were in for us. They filmed it in 2022 and it was released like a year later. So, but it's pretty good. It's not perfect.
We do have another episode for them.
Yes.
And
yeah, they're on vacation.
It's on our list.
It is on the list, and I need to get with them to actually do more dialogue instead of it looking more like a travelogue like it does right now. You know, right now we just have travelogue. We got lots of footage, but no talking. So, and we've got a great film coming up that's kind of an homage to Star Trek: The Motion Pictures opening when Kirk is in the shuttlecraft going around the ship. Ken did a fantastic job, and we're going to call that Preparing to Get Underway. Crytek, Preparing to Get Underway. So be looking for that soon.
That's fantastic.
I love that one. I just, it's going to hurt me when I actually have to cut parts of it to put in another film, you know? It's almost perfect now. It just needs the pilot and then the passenger, and we'll be good to go. All right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little premiere of our movie. We're passionate about what we do, and we hope that you're as passionate about it as we are. If not, okay, that's fine. Do your own thing, buddy. We're not going to involve you in, you don't want to be involved in. But if you embrace what we're doing, then let us know. Hit that like, comment, subscribe, and tell other people that you've seen us and maybe we're worth watching. Okay? So until next time, this is Steve Harry Harris and the HarrisFilm Crew. Talk to you later. Good night, everybody. Thanks, George.
When the warp drive won't go, propelling on impulse, but we still know. Together we'll make it wherever we go. Together we'll make it wherever we go. Wherever we go. Wherever we go.
Happy holidays, everybody.